I'm here with the WBO super welterweight champion Natasha Jonas. First of all, how are you doing, Natasha?
I'm good, thank you.
Perfect. So let's get straight into it. So your fight got announced a couple of days ago now, and you're fighting in a unification for the WBO and WBC titles against Patricia Berghult. My first question is how are you feeling about that fight going into it?
It's a big fight. I'm happy. I did want to. Obviously, there was no secret that I was trying to fight Hannah.
Hmm.
But it didn't work out. So we've got the next best thing, which is Berghult with the WBC. So I'm yeah, I just can't wait. It's a big risky fight, but I don't want to be in nothing fights anymore. I want to challenge for titles and more titles at this weight division and take me opportunities when they come. And this is a big opportunity, and I'll take it.
Of course, like we'll go into kind of the rumored fight news that what Hannah might be going into. I think might be potentially being out this week in a minute. But what does Berghult bring to the table that kind of is different to any of the opponents that you fought previously? Obviously, you've fought champions before in Terry Harper and Katie Taylor, but obviously this is another test. It's your first kind of champion at the weight division. So what does she bring to the table that's a bit different?
I think yeah, she's a. I don't think she. I think she'll be very similar to Namas in the sense of she won't be a heavy 154. I do remember her from the amateurs. She was a good amateur, and she was around 64, 66 kilo. So I just don't think she could make the Olympic weight at that time, and that was the reason for it turning professional. So yeah, she's not going to be like a. I don't think she herself is a big 154. But she's neat, she's tidy, she's been on the international squads for Sweden. She's been around for a long time and she's undefeated champion. So you have to respect what she brings to the table. Um, Different, probably similar in stature to Namas as well. You know, big, long, rangy. But I think she's a little bit more highly skilled.
Perfect. So with and also obviously she's already beaten Hannah Rankin previously. Do you think a win against Berghult would like kind of solidify your position as number one at 154?
I'm not too sure. I'm sure Hannah would probably say not. And maybe the care as well would say not. But I'm just like I say, just taking my opportunities when they come and taking the fights when they come. And if Hannah doesn't want it, then somebody else will. I've proved that I'm not really scared to fight anyone. So we do.
Of course, I think that shows you going in kind of during the COVID period against Terry Harper, who was kind of on a massive rise during that time. And obviously, the decision didn't go your way on that fight, and then you go into Katie Taylor. I think a couple of months later, I think yeah, you've proven that you're not afraid of anyone, especially to go up the weight divisions and win a world title at 154. That kind of everyone was a bit confused when the weight division was first announced, but then you proved yourself on the big stage. So no, credit to you. Well, when the fight was announced the other day, I was a bit. I was against Berghult. I was a bit confused because we released the other day that she had a fight penciled in against Cecilia Breakhouse, moving up in weight
Yeah.
divisions. Does you getting the fight have any ramifications for after the fight? Maybe if you're victorious on September 3rd, do you then have to fight Breakhouse afterwards?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I think for her as the champion, she was, put whatever she wanted into her contract, and she's available to be able to box me. So I presume there isn't one, and I haven't been advised of any. And yeah, I will reassess my options when I get there, and see what options there. If that's going back down, it's going back down. If that's staying there and fighting Brockhouse, that's staying there and fighting Brockhouse. If that's staying at 154 and fighting Hannah, it is. You've just got to, like I say, there's not very many opportunities at the minute, which was the whole reason I went up to 154. You know, Katie was in a bid with Serrano. Chantel was in a tournament with Callie Reese and McCaskill. No one really knows what McCaskill's doing, but so the only option was to go up the weight because it's not a secret that I won't make super feather anymore. So yeah, it was a great opportunity. I took it, and obviously I won a title, and now that opens doors that either to stay at that weight and unify the division, or to move back down and be able to go back down to your original and come with something to the table, because I think for a lot of people that was a bit of a big risk and no reward. But now, as a champion myself, it's different. You've got different pull.
No, of course, but I think even if that was the case, fighting Breckhouse, I think even without any belts, if you went back down and fought at Breckhouse's old division at welterweight, I think that would be a mega fight in Liverpool or wherever that fight would be staged. Where Cecilia Breckhouse, I believe, was one of the first, or is the first undisputed champion. I think if you then got a win against Breakhouse, I think that would catapult your career even more than what it has done. But that would be a mega fight.
Yeah, well,
and
it did for McCaskill.
yeah,
And like I say, she's a superstar in her own right. So when you're talking about legends of this sport at this time, she's definitely up there as one of them.
of course. And then obviously the fight is in Liverpool. I went to the Smith Fowler fight and we were very excited because you were originally supposed to be on that bill, and then obviously last minute changes happened. But obviously you're back on the bill, back on Beefy's undercard as well. How does it feel to be back, obviously defending, unifying your division at in Liverpool? How will that feel to you?
I think there's always there's you can box anywhere in the world, and it's amazing. Like there's still some venues that I'd like to box at that I haven't, but there's no place like home. And some people think that brings extra pressure, but you've got the roar of the crowd behind you, and it is like what they say in it's the 12th man in football, but in boxing that can spur you on. It can do amazing things. And I think for a long time I've fought outside of Liverpool. I've fought behind closed doors. So to finally be able to box in front of not even just the fans of Liverpool, but my family, my friends, is something major.
I know Fowler is from Liverpool as well, but that I feel like no one was supporting him when he fought Beefy, and I feel like like you said, the 12th man. I feel like the crowd really got behind Liam, and that kind of spurred him on during the victory. So no, I think you're completely right there as well. I have to get your opinion of, as I said, there was a rumored fight that I think might be set to be announced. They get between Hannah Rankin and Terry Harper at 154. Obviously, you fought Terry previously at Super Feather. You're both potentially now going up to 154. How would you see that fight going between those two?
I think it's a very risky fight for both. I think if Terry loses, it's hard to see where she goes after that. And if Hannah loses, then she brings nothing to the table for anybody. So yeah, it's a risky fight for both. Terry has got the capabilities to be able to, I think, be smarter and kind of, I don't want to say outbox Hannah, but be smart and box Hannah. But then Hannah's got the size difference to be able to, put pressure on and make it uncomfortable for Terry. And obviously with, a hand and being able to punch someone off, and also, the demons of Baumgartner, it could be a positive thing for Hannah. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a good move for Terry especially. And yeah, because like I did, there's nothing really there for her. Like she's not going to fight Katie, and I don't think she'll fight Chantal, and I don't think she'll fight McCaskill. So Hannah seems a good choice of opponent.
I think that's what when the fight was first being teased, I was really intrigued by it as well. And like you said it yourself, that when the opportunity comes to fight for another world title, become a 2-time world champion, I think that's what probably appealed to Terry the most. So and then going on to that, obviously there's a few other mega fights that are coming up just around the corner. Both all of them are live on Sky Sports as well. I just want to get your opinion on both Shields Marshall and Michaela Mayer and Baumgartner. How would you see those two fights going?
It's I think for Mayer Baumgartner, I just think literally for both fights anything can happen. But when you talk about the level that Michaela's fought at before, and as a pro as well, and long levers, she has got the potential to be able to keep a Baumgartner at distance and make her struggle. But as we've seen with Hamadouche, you know, Hamadouche tiny, and she let it come in. They were both exchanging, you know, short bent arm shots. And if that happens and she gets into a big war, then she's always going to be susceptible to Baumgartner. And I know she says, even when she fought Teddy, she was saying, "Oh, she can't punch, but she can." Well, as we've seen after Teddy, she can. So, yeah, I think the way that Baumgartner wins is to make it a brawl and to get on top of her, to get inside the long levers and to use her bent arm power shots. But the way that Maya wins is by keeping it long and being boxing smart and staying disciplined. But you know, whoever can do that for 10 rounds is the winner. Sav and Clarissa, again, I change my mind all the time, but for me, the what I find the final thing is that Clarissa will probably be winning. She's very fast, she's explosive, she's smart, she's dynamic, and I think because of that, Sav's got a bit of a slow start, and she likes to warm into fights, and she likes to make it awkward, but it takes her a few rounds to do that. So I potentially see Clarissa being up, but then at some point, Sav is going to land. Now, we've seen many people fight all different people, and it means nothing. But the one thing about Sav is when she does land, people don't get back up. Some of the worst knockouts in boxing have come from Savannah, and it's concussive. We don't see many women being concussive. Even my shot against Namath, she got up, and the second shot she got up. When Sav hits people, they don't get up.
Definitely, and I think it showed within the Sav's last victory, where kind of like you said, she was warming into the fight. It took a couple of rounds, and then it was over, and it even took, I think, a few of the commentary team by surprise of how kind of Polak's, I think it was Herman's was at the end of it. I'm and I agree as well. I changed my mind about the fight. I like you were saying, I was convinced that Sav's power was going to be too much. Then I spoke to Sandy Ryan a few weeks ago, and she's absolutely convinced that Clarissa's going to win. It's not going to be easy, she said, but she's convinced she's going to win. So obviously, when talking to
yeah, it does split divide, and I think a lot of people want Sav to win more, especially this side of the pond anyway. But that doesn't necessarily mean she will. But I just do think that when it comes eventually, it's going to come. And like I say, I do think probably Clarissa may be leading at that stage, but I do think it'll come. And when it comes, it's going to be a shot.
Do you think, because like you said, because a lot of Savannah fans and a lot of the British side of boxing, they want Savannah to win. Like obviously this will catapult Savannah into kind of superstardom almost within female boxing. Do you think because of that and because of her power, people are underestimating Clarissa's boxing ability?
I think if you're a fan, like and you're knowledgeable and you can read a match, then no. I think everyone knows how dangerous Clarissa can be. Do we think she can stop Sav? Probably not. Could she do a bit of a Calzaghe and overwhelm her? Maybe. That would be the only way I see her stopping Sav. Like I say, I don't think she's got that one shot concussive punch to be able to stop her. But yeah, I think if you're knowledgeable about women's boxing and you've seen them both box, then you know that it's not going to be an easy fight for anybody. And the same with Baumgartner and Mayer. That's not going to be an easy fight. It's going to be a long old 10 rounds if we even see the 10 rounds.
Perfect. Following on from that, obviously women's boxing is flying right now. You've got yourself winning world titles, Katie Taylor Serrano. Obviously, the fights I've just mentioned coming up as well. Who are a few female fighters that kind of you're impressed by and you like to watch currently?
There's been a few. I think Sandy performed well the other day. I don't think Chantal gets the respect she deserves. And then there's I like watching Laura Payne, Rhiannon Dixon. Nina Smith, Lisa Whiteside. There's some of my old teammates there. But yeah, I think just as a sport, it's thriving, and there's lots of talent there. We just, not everybody we get to see, and not everybody we like invest in, if you know what I mean. You don't get that, like, have the same platform or the thingy. But there's lots of good talent around. There's some young girls, good girls that are coming through now. Ebony Jones, Georgia O'Connor. So, you know, obviously the two Olympians as well, or the three Olympians, sorry, in, you know, they're at its best, at its elite, women's boxing is just as good as any boxing, as the men's, as any.
I was going to say it is thriving at the moment, and especially I think it's a great move by Sky. I know the Katie Taylor undercard with Gutierrez that had the majority female fighters, but there was one or two men on it. But it was a great move by Sky, I think, announcing that undercard with all the Olympians on it, and then obviously Clarissa versus Sav headlining. I thought it was a great move. And then my final question, Sav, obviously we've got the big rematch between Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua coming up as well. I just thought wanted to get your opinions on that as well.
It's tough. It's a tough night in the office. Another one. I would love for Josh. I think Josh has to do and use his assets, which is his size, his power, and he has to put on him. I don't think he can afford to lose again. And I don't mean, everyone thinks, oh, you're losing boxing, it's still doom and gloom and it's over. It's not. You know, there's still lots of fights out there for him. Whether it's the fight we want to see, which is him and Fury, that'll tell in itself. But yeah, I just don't think for him he'll want to lose. He can afford to lose. And I think we definitely see a different Josh. We have to see a different Josh. I don't think he can come out the same. As for Usyk, like, the man is like a genius. So it's hard to see how you overcome. The only way you can do it is by doing it to Jordan, just putting it on him and making him have to punch you off. Because when you're making somebody punch when you don't want to punch, that eventually gets you tired, especially when you're punching a bigger person off, like I'm saying with Harper and Hannah. So yeah, that's. But when it comes, he doesn't do anything tremendous. Like, he doesn't do anything that it blows you away, but he does every single one of the basics perfect. And that, when you've got such a solid foundation, it's hard to beat that. That's like, you know, you wish and hope for every kid to have just the best of the basics.
No, but I think that's what makes Usyk such a smart and tricky boxer, is because he does the things that kind of like the casual fan might not pick up on, like the footwork, the feints and things, like just drawing people in. But no, yeah, no, I think you're right. He's very intelligent. But as I said, I hope Joshua does it, and I think with the Fury fight on the horizon. But I think if he does lose, I don't want him to. But I always think the Dillon White rematch, I think that's going to be always there. Consider
even Wilder, if he doesn't win, Wilder's there. Like, everyone, people say, oh, he's finished. People will still watch Wilder.
Yeah, and I think Wilder's, he's teasing a comeback. I think he's sparring every single American heavyweight in the country at the moment. So no, I think he pictured Michael Hunter the other day. But no, I'd like to see Wilder back. That would be great, especially if it was in the UK. But Tasha, I've asked all of my questions, and again, thank you very much. But best of luck. I think September 3rd, and I hope to be there watching you unify the video.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks for the support as well.
No problem, Tasha. Thank you very much, and yeah, look forward to seeing you in the ring.
I'll see you on the 3rd.
See you on the 3rd.